Every year, we enjoy looking into the crystal ball and projecting the next 5 Super Bowl matchups and champions.
I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs this year will lose in the Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys because we're all in. Let's go.
With the new NFL season now upon us, we present our predictions for the next 5 Super Bowl matchups and winners. Super Bowl 59, Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. We would have gotten this Super Bowl matchup last February if the Lions didn't blow a 17-point lead over the San Francisco 49ers in the 2023 NFC Championship game. Well, better late than never. The Lions can look at the 2018 Chiefs as inspiration for how to learn from heartbreaking losses. Those Chiefs lost in overtime at home to Tom Brady's New England Patriots in the AFC title game before beginning a dynastic run of their own. Detroit has no flaws on offense. Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. The Lions O-line might be the best in all of football. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are the league's best running back tandem. And that's to say nothing of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta. Aiden Hutchinson has entered the elite tier of NFL defensive players, and the Lions have a scary good secondary now with prized rookie Terrion Arnold, ex-Tampa Bay Buccaneers star Carlton Davis, and second-year defensive back Brian Branch leading the way. At this stage, the Lions look like the team to beat in the NFC. This is the year that they remove themselves from the list of teams who haven't reached a Super Bowl and place their hands on the George Halas Trophy for the first time. Representing the AFC for the 5th time in 6 years, we introduce you to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. You remember them? Yeah, no NFL team in history has won 3 straight Super Bowls. Now, if a team can do it, it's a team with Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Andy Reid, and world-famous superfan Taylor Swift. So, it's the team on the rise versus the dynastic squad that's been there and done that. Who wins the final Super Bowl championship of the decade? Winner, Detroit Lions. Call Eminem and ask him if he'll perform in the middle of downtown Motor City after Super Bowl 59. The Detroit Lions will be your Super Bowl champs. A sentence that we never really thought we'd utter in our lifetimes. The Lions are one of the few teams with the pieces to go toe-to-toe with Kansas City. They have the O-line to contain Chris Jones and the powerful rushing attack to wear down the Chiefs' defense. And missing L'Jarius Sneed this time around will cause issues for Kansas City in the secondary. Detroit's defense will make just enough plays to prevent Mahomes from taking over in the 4th quarter like he did in KC's 3 Super Bowl victories. They follow the playbook of Bengals DC Lou Anarumo by mostly rushing 3 and sending 8 in coverage to prevent the first ever Super Bowl three-peat. Prediction: Lions 31, Chiefs 23. Super Bowl 60, Houston Texans versus San Francisco 49ers. The Texans, Lions, Cleveland Browns, and Jacksonville Jaguars are the only 4 NFL teams who have yet to play in a Super Bowl. If our calculations are correct, that list will be reduced to 2 teams within the next 2 seasons. Not sure if you'll consider this a bit of a hot take, but we think that after Kansas City, the Texans are the team that's best set up for a long-term success in the NFL. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell are as good of a young offensive trio as it gets, and edge rusher Will Anderson Jr. and cornerback Derek Stingley are just hitting their primes now. Not sure if other veterans like Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs will be here in 2 seasons, but the Texans' young nucleus of Stroud, Collins, Stingley, and Anderson is more than enough to help them break through. Then you got the 49ers, who need much of an introduction. They've played in 4 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls, both losses to the Chiefs over the last 5 years. It's funny to think that the 49ers are a few bounces away of their own from potentially being the modern NFL dynasty instead of Kansas City. I mean, we needn't remind you of all the star power on this roster. But by the 2025 season, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Trent Williams will likely be close to the end of their primes. This will also be the final year of Brock Purdy's rookie deal before he is paid 9 figures on his next deal. So this might be the last hurrah for the current core. So, how does it all play out? Winner, San Francisco 49ers. A Texans-49ers Super Bowl matchup would be a coin flip. If the 2 teams played each other 10 times in the season, it would be 6-4 or 5-5. That is just how evenly matched they are. But we just can't help but feel like Kyle Shanahan's group will break through eventually. Label the 49ers as chokers all you want, but John Elway had to lose 3 Super Bowls before winning back-to-back to close out his career. The 49ers have Williams and a stout O-line to contain Anderson Jackson Jr. and the Nick Bosa and Fred Warner-led defense should be able to penetrate the Texans' shaky offensive line and keep Stroud off his game. Finally, after almost a decade of gut-wrenching losses in the Kyle Shanahan era, the 49ers break through with the franchise's long-awaited 6th Super Bowl title. Prediction: 49ers 26, Texans 23. Super Bowl 61, Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs. A rematch of Super Bowl I 60 years later. And come on, do you really think that the Chiefs will somehow fail to reach the Super Bowl 2 years in a row? Ha, neither do we. We were close to getting this Super Bowl matchup in 2019 and 2020, but Aaron Rodgers' Packers lost in both NFC Championship games while Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs cruised their way to the big game both years. Of course, key cogs from those Packers teams like Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones are now long gone. This is now Jordan Love's team, and you'll recall that this man led the Packers to a stunning upset over Mahomes' Chiefs at Lambeau Field in Week 13 a year ago. The Packers' Super Bowl window feels wide open with Love in a mostly young offensive nucleus led by Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Luke Musgrave, Josh Jacobs, and Jaden Reed. And that's to say nothing of the Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, Xavier McKinney, and Lucas Van Ness-led defense. Does Mahomes match Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw's ring total of 4, or does Love follow the footsteps of other great Packers QBs and Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers by delivering the Lombardi Trophy to Titletown? Winner, Kansas City Chiefs. Make no mistake, we think the Packers are poised to win at least one championship in the Jordan Love era, but it's just too hard to bet against the best team in football with the best quarterback and head coach in football. By this time, Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy will be the best offensive trio in football, even if Travis Kelce is retired. And Chiefs DC Steve Spagnuolo has proven time and time again that he just knows when it's time to make his checkmate moves when it matters most. The Packers come close in their first Super Bowl appearance with Love, but the Chiefs make it 4 championships in 8 years to further cement their dynastic run. The wait was longer than expected, but Patrick Mahomes gets that 4th ring and pushes himself closer to Tom Brady's 7-ring territory. Prediction: Chiefs 34, Packers 30. Super Bowl 62, Baltimore Ravens versus Detroit Lions. Ravens quarterback and 2-time league MVP Lamar Jackson has only reached the AFC Championship game once in his career, but he too feels like a QB who is bound to win it all eventually, the only question being when. The AFC is loaded with other Super Bowl contenders. What we see here is the Ravens reforming their offense to a more pass-happy unit to keep Jackson upright and healthier, since he'll be 31 years of age come Super Bowl 52. Baltimore will still have other core pieces like Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Tyler Linderbaum, and Kyle Hamilton. This team will break through at some point in the next 5 years, and our calculations tell us it's gonna be the 2027 season. And the Lions by then will have already cemented themselves as the squad that has been there, done that. As our projected Super Bowl 59 champions, we'll try to get closer to dynasty status by making it 2 championships in 4 seasons. The Super Bowl has mostly avoided the hands of the greatest rushing QBs of all time, mostly Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, and Cam Newton. Does Jackson break the trend, or is Motor City celebrating a 2nd Super Bowl? Winner, Baltimore Ravens. We don't want to proclaim the 2027 Ravens as a team of destiny, but we can say they'll be ultra motivated to win it all for their franchise quarterback while he's still in his prime. And with head coach John Harbaugh potentially nearing the end of his Hall of Fame career. Like we said, we're guessing the Ravens will be a more pass-happy team by this time to keep Jackson's body healthy and upright. Their defense is a consistent top 10 unit and should have the pieces in place to keep Detroit's high-powered offense at bay. And speaking of Hall of Fame careers, Justin Tucker adds to his Canton resume by kicking the game-winning field goal as time expires. Prediction: Ravens 23, Lions 20. Super Bowl 63, Houston Texans versus Chicago Bears. Alrighty, so CJ Stroud's Texans get back to the big game following a heartbreaking loss to the 49ers in Super Bowl 60. Houston's core from the Super Bowl 60 finalists will mostly be intact, but GM Nick Caserio will have surely added more game-changing players to accommodate Stroud, Collins, Stingley, Anderson, et al. By then. Their opponent this time is the Caleb Williams-led Chicago Bears. By this time, Williams will have asserted himself as a top 5 quarterback, and wide receiver Rome Odunze will have surely reached superstar status. DJ Moore should still have plenty of gas left in the tank, and on the other side of the ball, the Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Jaquan Brisker, Montez Sweat core will power the Chicago defense to its first Super Bowl appearance since the 2006 season. Stroud and Williams have future NFL MVP and Super Bowl champion written all over their respective names. But still, there's only room for one winner. So, who's gonna take home Super Bowl 63? Winner, Houston Texans. Experience is almost always a deciding factor in the Super Bowl. If our calculations are are correct, this will be Houston's second Super Bowl appearance with Stroud and the Bears' first with Williams. Sure, a lot can change between now and Super Bowl 63, but we like the long-term outlook on Houston's defense a little more than Chicago's. Stingley and Anderson could very be football's best corner and pass rusher respectively by this point. Stingley will be one of the few corners that can lock down Odunze, and Anderson is the game-changing force that will help Houston close it out with a heart-pounding thriller. Prediction: Texans 27, Bears 21. But who do you think will face off and win the next 5 Super Bowls? Do you agree with our list, or is there some stuff that you might change? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then hey, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.